Yes, ma'am. That is what the holo is supposed to look like.
Hi, coffee beans! How's it brewing? If you're not part of the coffee bean family yet, then make sure you subscribe. Okay, so it's the new year, but this is an old background. What? It's hard for me to let go of the holidays. Happy New Year! It's been about a month since I received the Sophie and Toffee Black Friday box and their December Blowout box. And you can watch those unboxings here. But so much came in each box that I was really overwhelmed with projects and ideas. So I thought I'd keep it simple and just use a few things from the boxes today. A friend of mine let me borrow 2 of her coaster molds for this project. Also, I was going to use these fall leaves that I found outside and preserved myself, which is why I'm showing them to you here. But I ended up not using them. Spoilers! Would you like to see me use them in another resin project? Comment below and let me know. To get started with these coasters, I decided to use the black holo glitter and the gold holo glitter.
I broke the thing. I wasn't even pushing that hard. What the heck? Okay, do over.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get much coverage on the black holo. It just stopped sticking to the silicone and was kind of spreading around. The gold did much better though. The powder is the same consistency, so I am not sure why one applied better than the other. Then I used some rolled up tape to clean off the extra glitter. Next I used the included 1-to-1 epoxy resin. This was in the Black Friday box, but it was from the Cinderella Disney box. It is really super thick, like honey. I've been using Envirotex Light lately, which is pretty runny, so this was like a really weird change. I stirred part A and part B together for 3 to 5 minutes. Then I poured it into the coaster. I poured it along the edge first to make sure it got into the grooves. I decided to use these gorgeous purple flowers from the Sophie and Toffee Blowout Box. I love how vibrant the colors are on these flowers. But apparently I never actually took the time to flip the flowers over until now, because I just noticed that the back of the flowers are white. What? If you look closely, you can see that the petals are actually painted. See, this side is super saturated with color. But when I flip it over, the petals are white, and there's even brush strokes on the edge of the petals. Get out! I still use the flowers anyway, but I was really worried that the paint would end up dissolving off the flowers and mixing with the resin. No wonder these flowers are so bright though. Anyway, I worked really slow while placing the flowers. I also pressed each petal down gently with a toothpick to ease any air bubbles out from underneath. I also added this gorgeous fern. Well, I think it's a fern, and pressed it down with the same method as the flowers. Then I snipped some buds off the smaller flowers to fill in some of the empty space. Finally, I mixed up a tiny bit more of the epoxy resin and stirred in some white pigment from Sophie and Toffee. Then, using a toothpick, I placed drops of the white resin into the coaster and swirled it around to make a really pretty smoky effect. I learned this technique from Artsy Madwoman, and I'm obsessed with it now. Now that this one is done for now, it's time to work on the gold coaster. I bought this amazing sticker book from a place. I forgot the place. Target probably, since I practically live there. I had a really hard time deciding on a sticker. They're all so amazing. But I have a weakness for catstronauts. So the UFO kitty was the way to go. Now that I have my sticker, I poured some more resin into the mold, carefully going around the sides. Did you guys hear that car? That's what I have to deal with while I'm recording. So if my voice ever sounds like the tiniest bit weird, it's because I'm trying to edit out traffic sounds. Like with the flowers, this is a really thin layer of resin. It's just meant to hold the pieces down and keep them in place. And I added some white resin for that smoky effect. Then I laid my sticker down and pressed the bubbles out with my toothpick. The Black Friday Sophie and Toffee box came with this stunning holographic star glitter, so I added a few around the Space Kitty for some dimension. Not time and dimension. Time and relative dimension in space? No, that's Doctor Who. As I was adding everything, I noticed that I hadn't added enough resin in the first place, so I poured a little bit more on top and spread it around really gently. I also repositioned the kitty and stars a little since they had moved. Also, husband came home.
Hi, husband!
I let the coasters cure for about 5 or 6 hours. Just long enough for the first layer of resin to harden up a bit, because I wanted to add a background color. One thing I noticed about my coasters, and I really shouldn't be surprised, is that everything sort of shifted around as it was curing. The flowers sort of curled up on the edges, and especially the sticker. It curled up a lot. I think the reason for this is because the Cinderella resin was super thick, and I didn't put as deep of a layer as usual, so the sticker and flowers didn't really stay down and just kept floating up. But it's not really a big deal because it's going to be covered in black anyway. I used up all of the Cinderella resin for the first layers, so instead I'm going back to my trusty Envirotex Light. So I mixed part A and part B as usual. Now I added a few drops of my black alcohol ink and stirred it in. I've learned that if I'm going to add a dark color like black or navy to a resin piece, to use alcohol ink, because I can control the opacity more than with resin pigment dye. Once I was happy with the color, I poured it into my coasters, being careful to get a nice even coverage and to not accidentally go over the edge of the mold like I usually do. Then, to really get a gorgeous glossy finish, I popped all the little bubbles with my lighter. I don't usually do this because I don't mind little bubbles too much, and plus, I think this is the first time I'm really working with something large and dark, so I wanted it to be as smooth as I could get it. But holy moly! I didn't realize just how glossy it would make these. These are so shiny! Oh my gosh! I set these aside for a few days to let them cure fully. I actually placed a box over top to make sure dust and cat hair wouldn't get involved. But now it's finally time to demold. There's a cat hair on it. What the heck? I can't escape it. The box was useless. So clearly not popping bubbles has been a huge mistake. I mean, ignore the cat hair, but look at how smooth and shiny this is. I need to stop being lazy and actually pop bubbles more often.
Whoa! That is so cool! Oh my gosh!
I love sharing my real-time reactions with you guys. I love how the whole thing is layered. It looks very dynamic, rather than two-dimensional. So, remember that flowers were actually painted, and I was worried that the paint would smear? But it actually didn't. But the whole point of these coasters was to test the holographic powder, and this black holo just did not show up to the party. He's like at home sleeping after a long day at work. Where's the holo? It's sparkly, but not hollow. I think if I had been able to get a heavier coat of the glitter into the silicone, then the holo would have been more visible, but the glitter just kept smearing after a certain point, and I couldn't layer more on. You could also mix the glitter into some resin and do it that way, but I was worried I'd end up using the entire pot in just one sitting. I was moving this black coaster around so much to finally see some holo, and the best way I could manage to see the holo was with my flashlight on my phone. But the holo is there, just very, very lightly. Dang! I really like this coaster though. This is a freaking win. This is going to be my work coaster. Yes! Now for the gold coaster.
is what the holo is supposed to look like. That looks amazing.
Success! For whatever reason, the gold was able to lay down into the mold a lot better than the black. I got more coverage. So obviously that has a lot to do with how pigmented or how hollow the glitter shows up to be in the end. The sticker didn't really turn out the greatest. You can see the edges kind of curled up so the sticker looks like a dome shape. What I really should have done if I had taken the time was put some shipping tape over the sticker, like laminating it. That would have helped it to lay flat. But I still love it! The end result is amazing. I'm so happy my friend let me borrow these molds. I am so excited to make a bunch more coasters before I give the mold back. Which coaster is your favorite? Would you like to see more resin pieces like this? I loved making them. Comment below and let me know. And as always, if you've made any resin pieces like these or any other arts or crafts, please share them with me on Instagram by tagging me at BunnieDIY. I'd absolutely love to see, and I'd love to share what you've made on my Instagram stories. If you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you know anyone else who loves crafting as much as we do, go ahead and share this video. Thanks for watching, Coffee Beans! If you aren't a part of the Coffee Bean family yet, then make sure you subscribe before you go. You can click the little bell to get notified of when I post. I upload videos every Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you next week! Love you a latte!